Hello everyone, Mary here. So if you have been teaching English online, you know that sometimes it's really difficult to find engaging speaking activities to get your students really talking to you during the online lessons. Especially if you teach children, teenagers, or shy adults, you know that the struggle is real. So I've decided to put 10 of my favorite speaking activities together, and I'm hoping that this video is going to help you on spending less time on preparation and also really engaging your students on nice, interesting, and fun activities. So let's just go straight to the first one. I'm going to show you real life, exactly how, as I do during my lessons. So the first one, I would say, this is by far my favorite activity, is the secret door. I don't know if you've heard of this website. The Secret Door is a website, so I'm going to show it to you here. It's basically a website that you go there. You just have to, it's for free. You don't have to pay anything for it. You just have, well, to take the volume off, and you are going to open the door with the student. Once you open the door, the website is going to take you to a place in the world. So it can be any place. So that's the very, very nice thing. Basically, you don't know where you're going to go and the student doesn't know. So why is this activity so nice? Look, you can basically move things around. Well, we didn't go to a very, very nice place to describe. There are not many things here to be described. So if you think it's very random, or if you don't think there is enough vocabulary to be described there, you can just do it again. You know, open the door as many times as you need. What I'm expecting students to do here, I'm expecting them to describe things, because we all know that it's very nice, you know, to get students describing photos, especially if they are going to take an exam or if they have to, you know, improve their vocabulary. But sometimes describing just photos is a bit boring. So we try with this thing here. For example, here, I would expect the student to say, well, I can see a bridge, I can see the nature is a bit foggy, you see, so not many elements on this one, but it depends on the level, right? So this is a very nice thing. You can adapt this to all levels. If it's a basic student, you're just going to be expecting them to talk about the trees. If they are a bit more intermediate, you're going to expect them to talk about the leaves or to describe, you know, the trains or things like that. What is very exciting about this is that you don't know, and then together you can try to guess where you are. So if your student likes geography, for example, it's a very nice thing. And you can also circle, look, if you're using Zoom, that's the platform I'm using at the moment, you can just say, okay, right, so can you please tell me, what's the name of this thing here? What do you see there? Oh, so let's try to go here, go through. Oh my God, look, this is a bit different. So can you try to describe this type of nature here? What's the color and stuff like that? Usually what we do is we try to look for clues. So signs or letters or, you know, anything that you can see in writing, so you can see the language and you can try to find out where you are. Well, this has taken me to very, very cool places. You know, so I know loads of places in Japan, in Latin America, Antarctica, just because of this website. I can use this at least once per month with a student. They don't get bored. Look, this one, for example, it's amazing for advanced students because there are loads of little things for them to describe. And clearly, you can see here that we are in Canada. You see? Right. So this is first one. Let's go back to the second one then. So the second one I've got here is an activity that I called Guess the Object. Why do I love this activity? Because basically you don't need any preparation, any. What I do is I just show them a white slide, okay, and I tell them, look, we are going to try, no, actually you are going to try to guess the object that I've got here. So I just take any object from my house, and what they have to do is to ask questions to try to discover, to try to find out the object, what the object is. Okay, so basically, look, I've got something here, and I'm going to say, well, they don't have to be yes or no questions. They can be a bit more open, but not very specific. Of course, you're not going to ask, what is the object? So they can ask, for example, oh, how much did you pay? How much did you pay for this object? Where can you find it? So the very nice thing here is they can improve, they can practice asking questions, right? And you can go and you can write things. So for example, my students, most of my students are Spanish speakers, and they do have a problem, you know, hiding the auxiliary or hiding the subject. So let's say, for example, instead of saying, is it cold? They're going to ask me, is cold? So we can correct this together. I can tell them no. So let's say is the right one would be, is it cold? Is it cold? Or maybe they are going to hide the auxiliary. Where? So they can ask me, for example, where? Oh, where you buy it? Where you buy it, teacher? So we can go there and say, look, the auxiliary is missing here because of this, because of that. So basically, this activity gets them very curious. So sometimes I use very strange objects, you know, so in this case, I've got just some makeup here, or basically I can use this or whatever, even a bottle of water, you know, whatever you've got next to you, you can use it. And you can do the opposite as well. If you want to practice a bit of listening, you can do the opposite. You can ask them, they can choose an object, and they get very excited. It works for all ages. Okay, so this was number 2. And let's see number 3 then. Oh my God, that's funny. That's really, really funny. So number 3 is the picture dictation. Again, I love it because we don't have to prepare. No preparation involved. So what I do is I tell my students, look, are you using your phone or your computer? Most of them are using their computers for the lesson. So I just tell them, take your phone, go on Google, and just write a random thing and pick the first image that you see. They do get very excited because it's like a strange thing, you know, a strange element. So what I tell them to do is to describe what they are seeing. Why is this so difficult? It sounds so silly, so silly. Actually, the first time I did it, I thought to myself, this is going to be quite simple, but actually it's really difficult. And why? Look, this one here, I put an example. This one, the lady, the girl, she was describing this photo. So that's not that bad, right? My drawing, so I always tell them I'm drawing with a mouse. And of course, it's not my best skill, but that's why it's so funny, you know, because they make fun of me and they really engage because they really want to tell you how the photo is. So look, I put another example here. This one, it took us literally half an hour, you know, to get to this point, but it wasn't boring at all. She was very happy, very engaged, because look, she had this. This was the photo. Of course, I didn't see the photo. She didn't show me the photo prior hand. So why is this so complicated? Because basically, they start with saying, for example, oh, teacher, draw a circle. Okay, a circle, but is it a big circle, a small circle, black circle? Is it filled with color, not filled with color? Is it a center, background, on the left, on the right? So there are so many elements you need to describe something, you know. So, and it's very nice because sometimes they try to do it, but at the same time they're like, no, teacher, no, that's not it, no, that's not that. So they get very engaged. This can be used for basic, from basic to advanced, but of course, if it's a basic one, you are going to let them know, look, you have to choose a very simple image. Don't complicate yourself, right? Otherwise, of course, it can lead a bit to frustration. But very fun activity. Of course, I don't recommend doing this all the time, but at least once per month, once every 2 months, it's a good thing. Okay, so let's see what is number 4. Number 4, yeah, and again, sorry, again, you just need, you know, a white slide to start any preparation, any prior preparation needed. Okay, so we've got here the random questions. Probably most of you use this kind of stuff, you know, so why do students need random questions? Basically, first thing, because they can talk about themselves, they can talk about different aspects of their lives, and they can talk about random topics, which is really, really important. So if you've got a student that is a doctor and he's only talking about medical terms, for example, probably if you talk about fashion, he's not going to know how to talk about it. And in real life, it's really important to be able to talk about everything, okay, about anything. So if you are taking an exam, the same. What do I use this activity for? It depends. So it can be a warm-up, so you can be 10 minutes, if you can ask just 2 questions, for example, or it can be a lesson. You can do a lesson on this, because one question can lead to another thing, another topic, and it's just a forever thing happening there. The website that I use, there are plenty of websites. Okay, the one that I use, I'm going to show you. I'm going to put a link for all websites below. Okay, so the one that I use is called Conversation Starters, and I really like it because they ask interesting questions. And of course, if it's a new student, if you don't know the student, I don't know if it's the perfect activity, because of course, sometimes there are some personal questions there, not very invasive, but yeah, I would say give the students some time for you to use this, okay? Because sometimes, yeah, they are asking about opinions and personal stuff. So for example, we've got this one. What's the worst job you've ever had? And this can lead to a very nice conversation. When you finish, you just have to generate another one. You see, so the next one, for example, is it harder to exercise more or eat healthier? You see, so students, they really like to talk about themselves. Well, most of them, of course, depends on the culture as well, but most of them, they really like to see that you are interested on their lives and in their lives and stuff like that. So very, very nice activity. It can be used as a warm-up, it can be used as the main part of your lesson, or if you finished a lesson before you were planning, you can just say, okay, so we've got 10 minutes left, let's do just some random questions. Okay, right, let's go then to number 5. We are getting there. Number 5 is what happened here. So this consists of you are just going to look, of course, this needs 2 minutes of preparation prior to the lesson. So you just have to go on Google and look for strange photos. Be careful. Oh my God, because sometimes, yeah, you do find things that you really don't want to look at them. But yeah, so if you Google funny, interesting photos or funny in strange photos, you are going to find things like that. So what I do is I just copy them to my slides and I put some questions there. So the student needs to be creative and they need to tell me what's going on. So look, for this photo, for example, I've got the questions: who, where, when, what happened, and why is this important? So they have to create a story. So who? Well, this is a guy. Well, probably, I don't know, he looks Australian because the way he dresses. I don't know. Where? Well, this beach, maybe it's in South America. When? I think this was this year or maybe last year because it's sunny, so it was summer. And what happened? So this is the most important part. What happened there? Well, probably the guy was, so they have to be creative. They have to invent something, and it is funny. It is funny. Usually they create the most absurd stories. You laugh, and of course, all the activities while you talk to them, while you listen to what they are saying, you can put your notes here. So, for example, oh, he says she don't. So you can put it in here, and then after the student finished, or she like. So you just go take notes of the things they are saying, the mistakes, and then you can go back to them and say, okay, so this is actually, yeah, very good, well done. Of course, always giving a bit of encouragement to the students so they feel motivated. But look, this one, yeah, remember, this is the third person, so it needs to be dozen. This also is the third person, so it needs to have an S there. Okay, so you can have this kind of engagement, and it's not just funny, it's also useful at the same time. Okay, and let's go to number. Look, I love this one. Oh my God, I've showed this photo to 2 or 3 students and they created the most bizarre stories and it was very nice. Number 6, riddles and optical illusions. Okay, so another thing that is very easy to do because you don't need any preparation. You just have to go on YouTube and you are going to look for riddles or you are going to look for optical illusions. Why do I like them? First thing, because students, they get really engaged. They really want to know the answer for the riddles. Of course, try to make sure that you don't choose very, very difficult riddles. Otherwise, people are going to get frustrated. Okay, so of course, you have to watch the video before you choose it, obviously. And you have to choose something that you think the average person is going to be able to answer. Okay, so you can take you can choose a video with 3 riddles just as a warm-up, or in this case, look, we've got 7 riddles here, so you can spend more time on the activity. Everything is going to depend on your goal, on the lesson planning, and you know, the level of the student, the engagement of the student, and things like that. So in this case, look, you can just go straight to the riddles, or in this case, for example, I was sharing the video with the students. We were just listening to some stuff together. So look, we could listen to
your brain power. Our brain is a mysterious thing. We know more about stars than about the things inside our heads.
You see, so it's your choice. You can just, you know, cut off this part. You can go straight to the riddle. So look, let's start with this one, for example, or you can really let them to listen to the things. For example, there is another one here. There's a nice one, this one here, and they explain why people say one thing and they do say another thing. All right, so if you want, you can just allow them, you just let them hear the explanation and then have to explain the explanation to you. So that's a nice thing as well, you know, because it improves listening at the same time. Okay, so let's go back to our activities. We've got the optical illusions are also very nice. So as you can see here, you can see a photo. You can just go to YouTube and take and choose a video. And you can also just choose photos and put them on your slide. Why is this very nice? Because they will really make the effort, you know, to try to understand. And they are going to be very surprised when they find the things that they couldn't see by themselves. So for example, most of students, they are going to say, look, here, I can see an old lady. Then you can be very descriptive. So, okay, so what is that? What's the name of this part? Oh, her hair. This is her nose. Here we've got her chin. And then they go like, but can you not see anything else? So they get very intrigued, you know, they really, really want to see what they can't see. And then you go, okay, if you look at this place here, look, maybe someone is looking backwards. Can you see a lady facing? Oh my God, yes, I can see it. That's amazing. So very engaging, and it's very, I love when they can't see it, because then I have to help them, and when they see the things, they are very surprised, and it's a fun activity. Okay, so let's go to number 7. What do we have there? The British Council word shake. I don't know if you've heard about British Council. I'm assuming yes, because this is a very, very helpful website for English teachers all over the world. There are loads of lesson plans, ready lesson plans, and you can adapt to your online lessons. There are loads of videos, audios, loads of amazing things. So this is a game. I really like it. I started using this with a child, but I find out that this can be used with anyone, all ages, right? So usually I do it as a warm-up, and it is very interesting. So I'm just going to show you. You go into the website, again, all the links are going to be below. You open the game, you have to wait for it, okay, and then you play. So what you have to do here is just to try to find or to make some words with the letters that you see there. What do I do here? I use to play with the students. So I really play with them, and sometimes they win. It's true, you know, because sometimes my brain is just not working as it should be. So why do I play with him? First thing, for them to be competitive and to really engage, and for them to see new words, because of course my vocabulary is different, and sometimes I'm going to find words that they can't find, right? So this, you can choose the game. So for example, as I told you, I've been teaching Spanish speakers for quite a long time now. So they've got problems, for example, with the letter L, with the dark and the light sound of the letter L. So usually I find a game with the letter L. So there is an L here. A is very important to see vowels as well. And why am I saying that? Because if you choose something that is very difficult, you are not going to find any words, and it's going to be frustrating. Okay, so if you don't think the letters are okay, you just press new game. For example, this one, I don't like it. There's no L, there's no A. So we do it again. Well, there is an L there, no A. And you just press, look, this one is perfect. So you can start. We can do, for example, oh my God, yes, some days I'm just terrible with that. Let's say we are going to do the word salt. Salt. So you put your words while the student is telling you the words. Amazing thing, they have to pronounce the word correctly, otherwise you don't understand, right? So let's say, okay, go. Na, na, na. So they shouldn't say two. Oh no, there's no double O, right? So maybe, oh my God, that's difficult. Really, that's really difficult. So when the time finished, you are going to see, as I showed you here, you are going to see all the words that you made. Okay, so what I do is we go through every word. So meat, bear, na na na. So we go through them together. Salt, bar. I can check on the pronunciation, and at the same time, I can ask them to create sentences. So can you give me a sentence, please, with bear? Oh, bear. Is it beer, bear, bird? Or so you can play with the words, and you can create, you know, you can have more engagement if you really go and talk about them, ask them to create sentences, ask for the meaning, or talk about some pronunciation issue or stuff like that. Okay, so again, you are going to control it. It can take you 10 minutes. It can take you 20, 30 minutes. It depends. It depends on your goal for the lesson. All right. So, oh my God, I've been talking too much. Number eight, talk about students' traditions. So usually people really like to talk about their customs, their traditions, their countries, even if you are the same nationality as the student, you know, so even if you know about the traditions. So what I do is I take a photo about a special tradition in the area. So this, for example, is Carnival in Brazil. I know what the Carnival is about, but if I'm talking to a student, I'm just going to pretend I don't know. So I just say like, oh, this is a very nice party you've got. Is this in February? Is this religious? Oh, why are people half naked? You know, so basically I know the answers, but I want them to talk. And why is this engaging? Because they really want to explain to you, because they are proud of their traditions. So they really want you to understand why this happens the way it happens. So for example, oh my God, you are Spanish. So yeah, I've heard that you've got this thing called San Fermin, I think. So is this in the whole country, or is just the south, just the north? And they really make a big effort to explain to you, you know, the traditions and everything. So that's a very nice thing. Of course, you cannot use it every single week, and it's going to depend on the level. If they are very basic, of course, just expect a basic explanation. If they are advanced, you can ask questions, more questions, you can ask for details, you can ask them for descriptions as well. Also, what's the name of this thing they are wearing here? Or how do you call this part of a ball? Or how do you call this little thing? So you see small things that you can adapt to each level. All right. What I was going to say, oh my God, I forgot. So yeah, basically that's it. Oh, and if you, I remember now, if you have students that are very international, let's say, there are some students that they love geography, they love history, they love traditions, cultures, they are very cultural aware. So you can also ask about traditions in another place. Right, so you can ask, this is Mexico, for example, but maybe you've got a Spanish student and you're going to ask him, what is this about? And he's going to know. So it's less likely to happen because, of course, they probably are going to have just a general understanding of the traditions of other countries, but you can do it as well. Okay, very beautiful activity. You can feel the pride and you can feel the love. They talk about their own traditions. It's very beautiful. Right, we are getting there. Number 9, creating fake news. Not my favorite one, I have to say, but it's very useful, especially when you've got a lesson in 5 minutes and you don't have time to prepare anything. So you just go like, I need something very quick. This happens to me a lot. That's why I've created these things. So you don't have much time and you just go like, okay, let's go and do something quick. This is a website where you can create your own fake news. So you can choose the way you do it. You can say, okay, so today we are going to create some fake news about yourself, or we are going to create some fake news about an artist in your country, or about a politician. I don't know, right? So you just invent whatever, just for them to be able to be creative, and just to oblige them to really talk and create something different. So you go, there is a website. Yeah, again, the website is going to be behind. Oh my God, it's not behind, it's below. And basically, look, the very nice thing here is if you've got, what I do sometimes is I just go on Instagram, I choose a photo from the students' Instagram, and then I save the photo, and then we can just do it here, like right now. So look, you can just choose an image. So let's say I'm going to choose, of course, I have to choose something, my photos, because I cannot use my students' photos here. But let's say, for example, this is me. Hi. And then we can just create the headline. So let's say, for example, well, teacher wakes up millionaire or rich, I don't know. And then the ticker is going to be, and they have to create with you. You see, so it's very nice because look, the headline needs to be something up to 4 or 5 words. So they really have to think how to summarize, how to cut a long thing short to be able to fit this into the box. And then I don't know, so Mary won the lottery last Christmas and blah, blah, blah. So you can tell them to tell the story. So what happens to her? Oh, she was, I don't know, she went to Vietnam and, you know, there was the lottery there, the Christmas lottery, and anything like that. So they have to create a story and they have to talk to you and create the headlines and the ticker. Okay, why was I saying that it's not my favorite one? Because of course you cannot do this every week. It gets a bit boring. You know, if you do every single week, okay, so today we're going to create another fake news. So it's not something to be repeated, and it's not something for a very, very basic student, but it's something that you can use. It's quick, it's fast, and you don't need any preparation. All right. And finally, the last one. Oh my God. The last one I've got here is probably most of you know this activity. I also use this activity for writing lessons. All right. And this is very good because some students, they are going to take the exams, take exams in general. So it can be Cambridge, IELTS or whatever. And for example, B1 Cambridge exams, they ask students to continue the story. So what they do is basically they give students a sentence or the beginning of a story, or alternatively, they do the end, they give students the end of the story, and the student needs to write a story around that situation. Okay, so here in this case, if you're going to use it as an speaking activity, of course you don't need to write anything, but you can write if you want, you know, if you've got time. If you're going to use this as the main part of your lesson, you can just look. For example, Kai had just finished school and was slowly walking back home. His school bag felt heavy on his shoulders. Tell me, what happened? What happened to Kai? What happened to him? So the student needs to start thinking, which is also very good, because some people, they are a bit lazy to think about different things. You know, they just don't like to go out of their comfort zone. And especially if they are going to take an exam, they need to be able to do it. They have to be fast thinkers, you know, because they've got no choice. They are going to have random topics there and they have to write about it, or they have to talk about it. So it's a very nice skill for you to help them to improve. All right. So in this case, what happened? So they can say, well, he was very tired. It's going to depend on the level, of course. He was tired and he was about to la 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 la. Right? So you can write it. You can just say it orally, and that's it. Again, very useful things. With all activities, I'm always interacting. I'm not just listening. So ask questions. Especially if you want to elongate the activity, ask questions, because the questions coming from you, they are very good because you can adapt them to the level, right? So for a basic student, you're going to ask one thing, maybe about the color or the shape or stuff like that. For a child, you're going to ask about something imaginary, fantasy. For an adult, a shy adult, you're going to ask about other stuff. So you can kind of control the vocabulary they use, the structures you need them to use, and things like that. Okay, so use questions in your favor. Also, really listen to what they are saying. Okay, so be an active listener, because especially if they're talking about their private things, their personal interests or traditions, you really need to show you're interested in it, you know, in it. So basically, also, this tradition is very nice. Always giving students this encouragement, this motivation, because if they trust you, they are going to be talking more. I do have loads of students that they say, I feel so confident talking to you, but I don't care, I just talk. And, you know, of course they make mistakes, but we can talk about the mistakes. We can try to fix them. And then we have to prepare them to be confident to talk to other people as well, not just to ourselves. So give them encouragement, always motivation. I always tell them, wow, oh my God, look, 5 stars here, you know, amazing. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed with your pronunciation, your intonation. Or if they're asking questions and they use the right intonation questions, I'm like, oh my God, so that's amazing. Very impressed. It's not being fake. It's just really giving them the motivation they need so they can trust you, and they can trust they can make mistakes with you, so they feel more comfortable when speaking. Okay, so I hope this helped. I'm going to go. If you liked this video, of course, please give me your like, comment if you've got more activities that can make other teachers' lives easier. Please let me know. I'm planning to film other videos on the same topic, okay, giving you easy to prepare activities for online lessons. So different topics, different grammar activities and stuff like that. So if you've got ideas, or if you've got your favorite activities and you want to share them with me so I can film them, of course, saying your name, please comment below. Okay, and that's it, guys. So I hope you enjoyed, and I hope this information is going to be helpful for you. Okay, so bye bye.